All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What was that ruckus? What ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? Not me. I'm in my prime. Out of your mind. Ain't it cool?
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Blow. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
What's up, everyone? DJ Nubis with you on the Military Man podcast, following up my last review with this one for Scream 6, 2023. And if you watch the other review, then we're going to go right into this one where it's a year later. Both the Carpenter sisters are at university. The only people left really from the massacre from the last film is Mindy and her brother Chad. And of course, now at university, we have like a whole slew of new killings. We actually have an opening scene where my girl, Samara Weaving, no stranger to horror films, but she gets taken out early, which really kind of pisses me off. I love her so much in so many different films. But her death scene reminded me a lot of when we lost Sarah Michelle Gellar in Scream 2. So, just sucks that some of your favorites gets took out of the scenes way too early. But this time, this one has a different feel. The killers don't care about doing shit like is brazen. Like they don't mind walking out in the daylight. They don't mind in fucking, they just don't care about the films. In fact, we learn early on after you. Basically, what we learn early is there's two guys, other students at the school. Like it's really early on. Samara's killing, her character's killing. She's a professor at the university who studies slashers. So that's how she gets caught up in her own death. And it turns out the person that kills her is supposed to be another student at the university. And a pair of them were going to go and try to find the Carpenter sisters to kill them again for notoriety. But it turns out someone turns the tables on them and kills them first. So, and one of the big moments there is like, the one dude you saw by the refrigerator. He's like, well, what about the sequel to the movie? He's like, the killer's like, I don't give a fuck about the movies, and then he just kills him, right? So again, we have another moment where, Minnie's going to give her rules of the horror film and who might be the one guilty of this and that. She's got a girlfriend at the university, Anika. Chad and Tara are, still getting close and trying to be together. We don't see Sydney in this one from Nev Campbell, but we do see Gail Weathers. Who comes, of course. And of course, the sisters are pissed off at her because she didn't do what she said she was going to do. She wrote about the events of the last film again. She couldn't help herself. She was supposed to be doing like a tribute to Dewey. Instead, she fucked him over and kept talking about the killers. So now we have this film where, again, it runs through the ringer. Everyone's dying. We have a cop named Wayne Bailey, who is played by Dermot Mulroney from Young Guns fame. And let's see, we have Jack Champ is Ethan Landry, a student at the university and Chad's roommate. Henry Zerny as Christopher Stone. He actually plays the therapist that talks to Samantha I was telling you about, where she admits that when she killed Richie Kirsch in the last film that she felt pleasure from it. And of course, when this happens, the therapist is like nervous and doesn't want to treat her anymore. Like, he's now paranoid because he's like, I want you to open up and tell me about everything. Tell me about your problems. That's why I'm here. And so when she does, she just unravels everything. And this dude's like, I can't treat you anymore. So he's that guy who ends up getting fucked up in the end anyway. Let's see. So I have Tony Revolori as Jason Carvey, as a film student at Blackmore University, and a few others. We do have Hayden Panettiere from, I don't remember what show she was on way back when, but she was in the Scream film. I think it's Scream 4 from 2011. So she survived that, and she's now an FBI agent named Kirby Reed. So she'll be a big part of this film when you watch it. But anyway, the movie is basically starting out where Tara is at university, and she's kind of moving on a little bit easier than Samantha is from the events of the last one. So Tara's like just trying to have a normal university life, go to parties, play with, flirt with boys. And of course, this is early on, so we see Chad, who is hanging around with her because they're a group. He gets kind of like jealous. So like she's getting ready to go upstairs with some dude at this party, and they get to a fight and yada yada. And Sam, of course, freaks out and tries to go to the party. She actually puts a taser to his nuts. Like, it's just kind of funny. But either way, it embarrasses Tara, and they kind of have a fight. And Sam's like, you can't be doing it. And of course, one of the reasons why Sam doesn't go out as much is because ever since the last film, there was a rumor circulating on the web that, she actually killed all those people. It wasn't like the way that it actually happened. People are spinning the story to make it sound like she's actually the one that's the killer. That's the running theory and conspiracy theory. So now whenever someone talks, they're walking down the street and some other girl throws water or something on her and they start talking shit and they're filming it. And so they're trying to make her look like she's a nutcase. That's basically what they're doing with Samantha. And so she's been trying to stay low, but trying to protect Tara at the same time. But Tara wants to kind of just move on. But then soon we start seeing like the reports of the Ghostface killings. And, now they have to start taking shit seriously. And of course, Sam has been having this like a relationship with this guy across their apartment way. And, that was secretly done for a while. And then anyway, again, it's more of just people, her trying to stay hidden, but Tara's trying to like leave everything behind and be more of a human being, but just impossible now. But then the trust factor comes in. Everybody's a suspect. There's a few moments where Sam's like, I can't let you come with us. I forget the boyfriend's name offhand, but basically she's trying to keep anyone she knows more closer. And then of course he's not there all the time. So we have Liana Liberato as Quinn Bailey. This is actually Sam and Tara's roommate, who is Wayne's daughter, the sheriff or detective. So that's their tie in there. But again, we come to a moment in the story where they find this warehouse with the help of Kirby, and basically it's like a whole shrine to everything Scream. Like, it's from all the killings from every movie. They have like film footage, and all of a sudden, and then they find out like, because they're there with Kirby. Kirby tries to lock him in there because she wants to try to catch the killer, but Sam and them get a call from Wayne Bailey, the detective, that there's no record of a Kirby Reed at the FBI. These are going to be spoilers, so just be prepared. So they get there and they are assuming that Kirby, of course, is the killer. But someone tried to stab her earlier in that place. So we have a killer inside of the building. And finally, we have one killer who's cornering, or no, we have two where they're cornering the girls. And all of a sudden we see Wayne Bailey come up and we think, oh, thank God, like he's here to help. But he ends up not having any problems. Like he's there with them. So it's now three killers. Which turns out that Quinn, the roommate, was never Wayne's daughter. Like she might have had a father inside the precinct, but it never gets told really. They just assume maybe it's her. But I don't know how they got away with like doing that in the film, because it kind of just dawned on me that how is it then like the roommate never mentioned him by name, or why it never got brought up. So anyway, we have two of the friends that were hanging out with the girls, the new pack. They're actually son and daughter to the detective, played by Maroney. And anyway, what ends up happening is like more and more gets exposed. And so we find out that the motive here is that Richie is the older brother of the two kids and the oldest son of Wayne. Like he says, you killed my son. Never mind that your son was a lunatic. And of course, when Sam kind of says, oh, well, you did a great job of parenting, he's kind of like, well, yeah, I made some mistakes. He loved his movies a little bit too much. And this is how this shit always unfolds, right? These people go fucking nuts. And somehow he got his two other kids involved, and they're just fucking lunatics as well. But, yeah, so I again, excuse me. Again, I enjoyed this film for what it was. Like, I thought it did a pretty good job. It did add another twist. I kind of like when I was watching with Neko, I said it looks like there's three killers, even though I didn't really know for sure. But that's what ended up happening. Now I didn't know who it was, because they always go from like, oh, I think it's this guy, and because they always go like, oh, it's him, and then they say no, and then it turns out to be them anyway. So there's a lot of cat and mouse games in this. I do really enjoy the end. Now, I don't know where it's going to go from here. So, as I told you in the last review, Samantha clearly has a knack for killing. Like, she doesn't really hold back. Even Tara does it to the youngest son. Like, she really fucks him up pretty good. That was a pretty good kill. But now it's like you've set this up through these first two movies here that Samantha's connected to Billy Loomis, and she's got a knack for going nuts on people. She gets crazy. But apparently there was some falling out with the movie that's coming out not this year but next year, Scream 7. And apparently Barrera is not part of that, and I don't know why. Rumors Nev Campbell might be back in it, but I don't know like what exactly the fallout is, and if anybody's watching this, can you maybe just give me some backstory of why there was a falling out or whatever? But how are they going to play off of this now? Because you've already done all this work to set this up. Like, I would assume that you would try to set it up to where eventually Samantha would have to fall in to the dark side, or I don't know. I don't know how you're going to play it off, but this is kind of like a cutoff because you've already set this up with Ortega and her. Is Ortega gonna go on and be in the next film? Are they gonna go a whole new slot? Like, I don't know. But that'd be the only detriment to what's playing out in this film, because if neither one of those sisters show back up, well, then that's weird. Like, you've built all this up and then now you're just cutting it off. Like, it's really kind of weird. I know a lot of people were upset that Barrera didn't get back into the next film. I'm not sure. Like, some people were kind of going overboard, like, she's a franchise. Like, I don't know about all that, but but she did a good job in this. Like, the funny thing about Barrera too is that she reminds me a little bit of I can't believe I'm forgetting the actress's name, but she played Faith in the Buffy series. Elisha Dushku. She reminds me a little bit of her in the facial stuff. She's a very pretty girl. But I don't know where you go from this with this series now, because if you don't have her as your catalyst, who is the connection between the last two, I don't know what's going to happen now. So, yeah. Anyway, give me your thoughts, man. Let me know what you think about this film as opposed to the other one and the franchise overall. I know, like I said, I'm not going to give a rating here. I'll probably do it when Kevin Lambert does the entire franchise for his Into the Darkness segments. Eventually, I know he will get to it. This is just one of those franchises that need to be talked about in general, like, more thoroughly. Yeah, so later tonight, I'm going to try to get some more rest and hook up with Mr. Tony the Dead for the Ghost Killers versus Bloody Mary and Ghouls of Midnight. That's my pick this week, and so hopefully I'll feel pretty good enough to do that. Then tomorrow won't be available for anything. Obviously, Friday, I have my Godzilla spotlight with Daniel Miller, the professor, and then Saturday I have my Kaiju spotlight with Mothra with Lady Fatblood. So those are the things that are immediately coming up. So hopefully I'm feeling much better by then. But yeah, thank you all. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and give me your thoughts, man. Like, I love to hear back about how you feel about some of these films and where we're at with them. So anyway, take care all. Have a good one.